All right, picture this. You're at a party. The music is loud, people are laughing, there's probably some guy in the corner trying way too hard to impress everyone with magic tricks. You step away for a breather, maybe to grab a snack, and suddenly, boom, you see a letter on the table that says your entire nation is in deep trouble. Do you A, run back into the party and tell everyone? B, sit down in absolute despair, contemplating the state of the world while everyone around you keeps partying like nothing's wrong? Or C, dramatically pose in an armchair, draped in red, looking like a Renaissance-era emo icon? If you picked B or C, congratulations. You've just become the main character of Stanczyk, one of the most haunting and relatable paintings in art history. This masterpiece, painted in 1862 by Polish artist Jan Matejko, isn't just a pretty picture. It's a whole mood. And today we're diving deep into why this jester looks like he just read the worst text message of his life, and why you might see a little bit of yourself in him. Oh, and stick around, because by the end, we're also going to solve, or at least try to solve, a mystery hidden within this painting that has been confusing historians for years. Let's dive in. At first glance, Stanczyk might just look like a tired man in clown clothes taking a break from an intense game of medieval beer pong. But let's break it down. Front and center we have our guy, Stanczyk, sitting in an ornate armchair. His crimson outfit isn't just any old jester costume. It practically bleeds into the deep red hues of the room, making the whole place feel like a visual metaphor for impending doom. Or maybe just really bad interior design choices. To his side, a letter lies abandoned on the table. This isn't just a random piece of medieval spam mail. This letter delivers devastating news. The fall of Smolensk, a Polish stronghold, into Russian hands in 1514. That's like waking up to a message saying your entire kingdom just got dunked on in the worst way possible. And then, there's the party. Through an open door in the background, we see the court of Queen Bona throwing what looks like the social event of the season, completely unbothered by the fact that their nation is in serious jeopardy. So, here's our first big question. Why is the jester, the one guy whose whole job is literally to entertain and make jokes, the only person actually taking this situation seriously? If the leaders of Poland don't care, why should he? Well, because Stanczyk wasn't just any jester. He was different. Unlike the stereotypical goofy court jester whose biggest concern was perfecting his cartwheels, Stanczyk was famous for his sharp wit and biting satire. Think of him as a medieval stand-up comedian, but instead of joking about airline food, he was calling out the political failures of the monarchy, right to their faces. Imagine roasting your boss daily and still keeping your job. This made him beloved by the people, but probably a bit of a headache for the royal court. He used humor as a weapon, exposing hypocrisy and corruption, which, let's be honest, sounds exhausting. So, when he learns about the loss of Smolensk, he doesn't just see it as another battle lost. He sees it as the beginning of a major geopolitical disaster. And maybe, just maybe, he's realizing that all his years of warnings, sarcasm, and cleverly worded jabs were completely ignored. Relatable, right? Now, here's where things get really interesting. This isn't just a historical painting, it's also a bit of a self-portrait, because that isn't just Stanczyk you're looking at, it's actually Jan Matejko himself. Yep, the artist painted his own face onto the jester. Why? Because Matejko, much like Stanczyk, was obsessed with Polish history and deeply frustrated by the political state of his time. In the 19th century, Poland wasn't even a country anymore. It had been partitioned and divided among Russia, Prussia, and Austria. Matejko saw himself as a historian with a paintbrush, using art to keep Polish identity alive. By painting himself as the only serious person in a room full of oblivious partygoers, he wasn't just making a statement about the past, he was talking about the present. He was basically saying, history repeats itself, and once again, no one is paying attention. And that brings us to one of the biggest mysteries in this painting. Let's talk about that letter again. The painting's full title is Stanczyk, during a ball at the court of Queen Bona in the face of the loss of Smolensk, which makes it pretty clear that the letter is announcing the fall of Smolensk in 1514. Except, the date on the letter says 1533, and Queen Bona didn't even come to power until 1517. So what's going on here? Matejko was known for being obsessively accurate in his historical paintings, so why would he make such a huge error? Was it a simple mistake? Or was it intentional? Maybe he was making a point that history doesn't happen in isolated events. Maybe he wanted to show that the loss of Smolensk wasn't just a one-time disaster. It had ripple effects that continued for decades. Or maybe he was leaving us with a riddle, just like Stanczyk himself would have done. What do you think? Was this a deliberate choice? Or did Matejko just have a bad day and mix up his dates? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories. At the end of the day, Stanczyk isn't just about one historical moment. It's about something bigger. It's about what happens when the people in charge ignore the real problems around them. It's about feeling like the only person who gets it while everyone else dances the night away. It's about speaking truth to power, even when no one wants to hear it. And maybe that's why this painting still resonates today. After all, who among us hasn't had a moment where we just sat in a chair, staring into the distance, feeling like the only adult in the room? So what do you think? Did Matejko see himself as a modern-day Stanczyk? What other historical paintings do you want to see me break down? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more art history deep dives with a side of existential crisis. See you in the next one.